Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Shadow Samurott in the Open Ultra League. And this Pokemon is going to be an interesting one. It's got a big buff with Fury Cutter, and today we're not going to run the standard moveset. We are going to run a moveset with the move Blizzard. And Blizzard is an interesting one, and it only makes sense in the Open Ultra League, but let's take a look at why it makes so much sense in the Open Ultra League. First battle already, we're getting Hardwalled, important against our Fairy type, a Virizion against our Samurott, but not today, because the Virizion goes down against our Samurott, allowing us to realign and win the first battle. And that is the idea we try to have here for today. We try to get unexpected victories here with the Blizzard on this Pokemon. And honestly, Shadow Samurott, it takes some time. I actually had a bit of a struggle with this team in the beginning, I have to say, but the more I played it, the better it went, because this team makes a lot of sense on paper, like literally. I think I kind of got really unlucky with the matchups, but also could be just the case that maybe losing in the lead wasn't really ideal. I basically lost nearly every single lead, it felt like. We had here already two very negative leads for us as well, and it's very difficult then to come back as well if you get just hardwalled every single battle. So yeah, but the longer I played this team, the better results I got as well with this team, so that's kind of, I think, what you can take away from it as well. And the more I understood also Samurott and how important the two-shield scenario is for this Pokemon. You want to go into two-shield scenario, because against those Pokemon you're going to still, that you outspeed anyway, like something like a Belly Bolt, it's just going to add up after a while. Like, you were able to get to an extra Hydro Cannon there, and here in this battle, we're going to be hardwalled in the lead, but we're now going to have the Pidgeot against our Weezing. I know that I can still go for a Sludge, get them below half health here right now. Now I'm going to be able to use a shield, not a shield because I don't have a shield, but we're going to be able to still take the hit is what I want to say here, and knock them out with our own Sludge. That is going to be enough to get the KO, and as we will see, it's still going to be the opponent in the back. Is one serve enough to knock them out? Most likely not, but I still should be able to still get to another one here as well. One more fast move is all it takes, and this is going to be a victory for us as well here as the opponent. Can go for a Scorching Sands, but it doesn't really help them. We're going to be able to still go for the Surf and get the KO. Next up, Weezing against Virizion. Actually good lead here for us. Positive lead, they go swap out into Lapras. I gotta go for a Sludge and then swap out. The thing is here, I kind of want to weaken them a little bit before I swap out. Yes, I know the fast move is super effective from them, but at the end of the day, if I weaken them, it just makes the matchup here for our Jellicent a bit easier, and Jellicent completely walls every charge move from this Pokemon. Everything is going to be resisted on us. They don't have even the option to have a neutral move here. There's not a single move that Lapras can learn that is going to be neutral against us as far as I know. They only have Water, Ice, and Normal type attacks on this Pokemon, and with that, that's all going to be stuff that's resisted by Jellicent, and so we can take advantage of that, get a ton of energy here. We have the Sparkling Area coming through, and with that we're gonna be able to go for a Surf. That is going to allow us to get the KO here, and as we will see, we're going to have a Shadow Ball coming in. This is going to be totally okay, as we have here now the KO with hopefully our Samurott soon. But then we go into the Virizion, and I'm going to use a shield here. I'm not too sure if this was smart or not. I'm going to try to go for the Blizzard and just knock them here, I think. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Blizzard. They should know that other move here doesn't knock them out. And yes, they're going to go no shield here, and this most likely wins us the battle. That we were able to go for that move is just ridiculous, because now, yeah, Blizzard was able to kind of flip that matchup for us, get the KO against the opponents of Virizion, and now we're just going to have the Belly Bolt against us. They still have to go for a charge move against us, but I think we even outspeed them here with the Samurott, but we can also just catch a move on our Jellicent, which also works out absolutely amazingly, as we can now go into our Weezing and win the battle. I just have to get to two charge moves. They have no chance of winning this battle. I have already a charge move stored still on the Samurott, and this Sludge is going to be enough to get the KO here, so good game against the opponent. Weezing against us, it's going to be an interesting matchup here. We're going to be able to just go for the Sludge. They could have Overheat, which would do a little bit more damage than a Sludge does, but this is going to be an interesting one here. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and go for their own Sludge as well, which is fine. I can let the move go through. I can go for my next Sludge here. If they go for the Overheat, they might be able to knock us out afterwards, but we still got them kind of low here, so it's going to be alright. Let's see what they're going to go for. Do they have Overheat? They do actually have the Overheat, which makes it a bit awkward. We're going to be able to go into the Samurott, and they sub out into the Golisopod with the fast move of Shadow Claw. What we can do is we can get some damage onto them with the Hydro Cannon, getting them below half health, and we can swap out into our Jellicent to catch a move, which is guaranteed resisted. The opponent has great fast move pressure against us here with the Shadow Claw, but they don't have any charge move pressure against our Jellicent, as Jellicent's typing is just resisting both bug as well as water type moves from the opponent. And again, I don't think there's even a move that they could learn that is going to be neutral against us, because everything is, I think, bug or water type that they can learn. Anyway, Moltres comes back in here, or like for the first time to be fair. We can go for a Surf, and we try to swap out of here. We have still a charge move stall, which is kind of important, and we can go for another charge move against the opponent, as this Hydro Cannon is going to be able to connect. Maybe I should have went for the Surf and tried to go for the full farm on here with the Samurott. This could have been also a play that I could have done there. Maybe it would have been ideal, because here they're going to go 2 shields down. They can go for another charge move there, but if I had a Surf done there, I actually think it would have been the better play to go for the Surf straight away instead of keeping it for later on. But it is what it is. The opponent goes for a fly here. I will go for the charge move against the Weezing. I have to get the KO there anyway. And I wonder what they're going to go. Hopefully they're going to go into the Jellicent, and I wonder, yeah, no. They're going to survive just barely there. Can they survive a Hex? They can just barely survive with a 1 HP. If it wasn't for the 1 HP, I would have won, but maybe if I just went straight for Surf, I would have won as well. Next up, we're going to have here Tentacruel. Tentacruel is going to be okay for us. We're going to be able to swap out into our Samurott, and they're going to go into the Pangoro. That is a matchup that we should be able to win, especially as we have some energy advantage. But it depends on really what they're going to go for. Are they going to go for Night Slash? Are they going to go for the Close Combat? I'm going to shield the first move up. They go for Night Slash. And I'm going to be able to get the final shield from the opponent here with that Hydro Cannon, so I'm totally happy with that. And now I'm just going to let the move go. Like, I got them kind of in a position I want them to be. Weezing completely hardwalls the opponent there, not too worried about it. But now we see that they actually went for the bait. This will allow me, even if they get the boost, which they do get here, to knock them out with our Samurott and realigning ourselves, which is kind of important. As now we're going to have the Tentacruel up against our Jellicent, which is a hardwall to them, instead of having our Pokemon getting hardwalled. Now I could have went for a Shadow Ball here if I really wanted to, but I'd rather use my Weezing against the Annihilate, which is going to be more of a neutral matchup. More actually positive for us, but the opponent has some energy advantages, but it's more neutral than it would usually be. But as you can see here, that's going to be a very solid scenario for us. The opponent is going to be forced to go for another charge move, and like again, like Jellicent's such a good matchup for the Tentacruel there. We're still going to get to another Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is going to get them very low. And we will see the power of this team here. Again, I do think that this team is going to be performing quite well if you take a look at this for a longer period of time. Because like it just makes a lot of sense. Like team building wise, it just works out really well. The one Pokemon that actually I feel like is a bit tricky for this team is going to be Typhlosion, weirdly enough. Even though we have 2 water-type Pokemon and 1 Pokemon in the lead that still does some sort of damage with a Sludge. I feel like Typhlosion is like one of the more awkward one, because if you're gonna face it in the lead or even as a Safe Swap, you're gonna be behind energy with your water types, and Jellicent still has some potential against it, but Samurott doesn't really want to take an Thunder Punch of it, so like that would be more of a difficult matchup. Okay, we're going to have a great lead here. They're going to swap out into the Feraligatr, and I can weaken them a little bit here with our Sludge coming through, and I can then go into my Samurott still, which applies fast move pressure against the opponent, and I still should be able to outspeed them to my next charge move, so that is kind of safe. They're going to go for a Crunch, and they're going to get the 20% chance, which actually kind of worried me, thinking that they maybe want to try to realign themselves, but it doesn't work out for them no matter what they would do here, so we're going to have alignment still. Florges is going to go up against our Fairy and Poison type, which is going to be lovely, as we can go for a Hydro Cannon, which is going to get a ton of damage onto them, and they go into the Stunfisk here. And I have to go, of course, into my Water type, but it's going to be more like, 2 super effective Pokemon going up against each other. That's going to be a bit more tricky. But let's see, we're going to go for the charge move here. It is going to be the Surf coming through. It's going to get the shield from the opponent, and we can go for our own shield here as well. This is going to be okay. Discharge is going to connect, but we're going to be able to still go for a Surf against them here. This should be totally okay here as well. That's going to get the shield from the opponent, and we still have to hit a Surf. It's going to be a charge move coming through, and I think they're going to swap here, so I'm going to swap. Is that going to be the correct call? It is going to be the correct call, and that's going to be great. Florges is coming in here. They're going to go for the Trailblaze, and I am going to decide to get a ton of energy. And honestly, I think I should just go for a Brutal Swing and go for the full farm now. That's going to be a Moonblast. I'm not too sure if 5 are enough. No, I actually have to go for the Sludge here. I don't think there's a mistake on my gameplay here at all. But like what we are at now, we're at a position where you don't get to another Brutal Swing afterwards. And that is actually kind of annoying, because As you will see here, that Surf is just not going to be enough to knock them out. The Surf is just doing not enough damage, and as we'll see, they're gonna go for the Discharge, which will be enough to knock us out. Now it's down to our Weezing, and as you will see, we are missing one fast move to get to our own charge move. So yeah, that's going to be a good game, nothing we can do, and we can move on to the next opponent. We will have Dragonite here. Dragonite is going to be a Pokemon where we're going to have just a great matchup generally against, and we're going to have now the Registeel coming in here, and Registeel is going to be a bit tricky for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get some damage in here and trying to get a shield as well, thinking it might be an overheat or something, but they didn't fall for it, and so I have to let the Zapcan go through. It actually two-shots us, which I didn't expect there, but I guess Zapcan is a very hard-hitting move. Now I'm going to go for the Hydro Cannon. Maybe a bit of a mistake, but I kind of need to get some damage onto them eventually. And so, yeah, I decided to go for a shield here as well. It is going to be the Zapcan. I was hoping it gets more energy before they go into the Dragonite. But at this point, I am gonna go for the shield against them still. Being now 2 shields down is a bit tricky. But I decided to go for the Hydro Cannon here as well. And try to get some energy afterwards with my Weezing. Because then I can go for the full farm down. They let the move go. Could of course went for the Blizzard and just one-shot them, which would have been cool. But now we have a ton of energy against the Registeel, which is going to come in clutch here. Getting at least like 3 charge moves off, I think. Like 2 are going to be even enough to knock them out. So yeah, we're going to be in a very good spot here. This is, okay, like other than that we had 2 shields down. But yeah, we have 1 Pokemon against 3 Pokemon here, basically. 1 Pokemon with 2 shields against 3 Pokemon here with 0 shields. And what I wanted to do in this battle now, because they have like such a bulky Pokemon where I don't have the super effective charge move damage currently, and I have like 2 of my Pokemon quite low, I wanted to win by going for the timeout. As long as I have more Pokemon than the opponent, I would win that immediately. And then afterwards, just if you have more health still than the opponent. But what we will see here is that I'm going to swap out into my Jellicent. We have like all the charge moves in the world coming in. They can go for all the Stone Edges they want. And because I went for so many charge moves with my Weaving, because I went so many charge moves here with my Jellicent, because they went for a lot of charge moves as well with their Stone Edges, what I can do is I can go for another Surf here, and I can just stall them down. But you know what's kind of funny? I still have a charge move stored the entire time on my Samurott. So like it was kind of pointless to swap out into my Weezing here. But again, like this just would give me the potential to win with timeout. But while I wanted to win with timeout, it's just a little more logical one to just go for the Hydro Cannon and win. But yeah, good game to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. We will see the Alolan version of Sand Slash. This is going to be a very interesting one. Very bad for our lead, and we're going to get kind of hard-walled here as well. Like, that's something that happens sometimes as well. We're going to have the Samurott against a Tentacruel, which is just not ideal. We had our lead hard-walled with a Pokemon that has ground-type coverage and that resists both of our like main damage sources there as well, with like Fairy as well as Poison, so that's not really ideal. And so, of course, we're going to try to do our best here against that Tentacruel. We let the move go, though. It's going to be a Scald. They're not going to knock us out, but they're going to farm us down now. Now it's down to the Weezing to get as much potential energy as possible, because I'm just going to take it to take a hit and then swap out into the Jellicent to hopefully go for the full farm down against them, as I swap out into the Dragalge. So, that's now the question. Are they going to go for the Awkward Tail bait, or are they going to go for the Outrage with a Dragalge? Dragalge, a Pokemon that I built as well. I still have to find a team that I want to use around it. But as we will see, the opponent can go for another charge move. It is going to be, I think, the Outrage here, as well as we're going to be able to still go for another Shadow Ball. This is doing no damage because it's shield again. And now it's down. Do they want to go for a shield bait or not? Do they go for another Outrage, or are they going to go for the Awkward Tail? I'm going to shield, and it's going to be the Awkward Tail this time around, which means that, yeah, they are having more energy, definitely, that they show here right now. We can go for the Shadow Ball. They're going to be kind of low, and with that, we're going to be able to get the KO against them, thanks to our Weezing, storing that energy from before. Now it's down to Sand Slash against our Weezing, as well as our Jellicent, and as we see here, Brutal Swing is going to be getting them, I think, into range or maybe even a Surf. They're going to catch the move onto Tentacruel, which will get knocked out, I think. It does get knocked out, and so it's down to, like, I guess, our Jellicent. Getting this move off here is kind of cool as well, where they generate a ton of energy on their Pokemon. I am able there to get them low enough that the Surf is definitely going to be enough. And we will see here as well that 2 Drill Runs are not going to be enough. And this should be a victory for me. As we will see here, the opponent goes for a charge move. It is going to be that Drill Run coming in. We can go for a Surf, but we're actually going to lose the CMP tie here, which is really unfortunate. And with that, we barely lose the battle because they can fully farm us down here. Very much unlucky. Final battle, another Weezing. This time around, they're gonna swap out into the Donphan. I maybe show into my other Pokemon, into my Samurott, which gets to the moves a little bit faster. Could have been cool. But also gonna let the move go through here. It's gonna be a Trailblaze from the opponent. But as we will see, we're going to have access to Surf. This is going to allow us to get the shield from them, and we will get another shield very, very soon after. We're going to use a shield ourselves. It's going to be wise, then I can expect that. Maybe I should just shield the first Trailblaze, because then they would be still forced to go for Trailblaze afterwards. But as you see here, the Surf is going to get the shield. They're going to swap out into the Belly Bolt. I was hoping I still get to another move, but at least I'm going to have my right Pokemon aligned. The issue is now, though, what is Samurott gonna do? Like, what is Samurott gonna do as long as his Pokemon is here around? We still have one shield here, which is going to be great though. And the Belly Bolt here is trying to go for the Parabolic Charges. We can go for a Sludge, and I was hoping that I can still win the final battle here for today with a Samurott. Let's see if this is gonna work. We're gonna get some nice damage onto them, and now it's Samurott against the entire team. I could even try to go for the full farm down, just use a shield. Okay, we can still go for Donphan Mose still gets to move, like, yeah, now it's kind of over. I need to get the energy against the Belly Bolt, but they just played it really well as well. Like, with their swapping and everything like this, yeah, they just played it very, very well. So, like, yeah, shouts to the opponent there. Well done, and sadly, we are going to lose this battle. But hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.